It's me, Vera, and welcome to Stitch of Fate, a Vampire the Masquerade V5 podcast. Since we'll be portraying vampires who have left their mortal lives behind, expect that we're going to do bad things that deal with difficult themes and content meant for an adult audience. This content may include, but is not limited to, body horror, drug use, murder, gore, extreme emotional situations, and graphic images. Remember, don't hold those actions against the players, just the characters. Take care of yourself, mortal, and take a break if you need it.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Stitch of Fate, a Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition podcast. As always, I am a storyteller, Mike Martin, joined by my four wonderful players, Bub, Josh, Mark, and Dot/Chelsea. Dot P Chelsea. Wow. You learned that slash means P, take a piss or something in England, so there we go.
You catching on?
I'm doing the best that I can.
I am catching on. I want to know the root cause of it being called slash.
Yeah, me too.
I think because it slashes through the air, you know?
Oh,
yeah. So I was thinking like a laser sword.
Yeah, just like
a little action.
You know, I live in Canada, so you know, snowbanks and being outside and you know, everybody's
you draw your name.
That's true.
Yeah.
New England, over here every once in a while.
That's probably it.
Well, there's no need to recap because we're only going to do that once every few episodes. So we're just going to jump in. Let's rein it in, and we will pick up on a dark road, with street being illuminated by soft orange lights and minimal traffic as most of the cars are parked for the night on both sides. We watch as Sean walks into frame from behind, and the camera trails down behind him about a foot as he watches very similar, almost identical brick houses lined up next to him, one after the other, somewhere in the boroughs where people are sleeping and living their, you would call, typical suburban lives here in New York. And as you watch and count, you know which one of these belongs to Mr. Larson, the Thin-Blood Primogen. You know because you've been brought here. It seems that most Thin-Bloods are brought to his home directly after they've been found or embraced. At least that's what you've heard. To the detriment of him, but to the care of no other kindred in the Camarilla. He lives with his wife and child, and lives a relatively normal life as far as you understand, outside of the Camarilla. As you watch and walk, can I get a wits awareness from you, please, Joshua?
I got one.
And Sean continues to walk, unknowing of what may or may not be watching him. When you see in the distance, 31, 32, 33, there should be the house. And as you look, the outside light is on, and you see a figure, actually, standing on the 3 stairs that lead up to the front door. And as you grow closer, you realize on the other side, on the inside, that's Mr. Larson. You recognize the shaggy beard and the short brown hair and the tired look under his eyes. But the one he's speaking with, you can only see the back of. Long black hair from the top of his head flows down past his shoulders near his waist. A long dark trench coat that covers his shoulders down to his knees before the conversation seems to abruptly finish. The man spins around and you recognize this face. It was one of the very first faces you saw on your nights here in New York. The Sheriff, Kadir. He takes a couple steps down from Mr. Larson's home, Mr. Larson watching him make his every move, and Kadir turns and begins to walk your way down the sidewalk in your direction. You remember Kadir well. While he is an exceptionally beautiful-looking man, the fear he struck in you on that night is something you cannot forget.
No. Sean straightens up, as he normally does around full-blood kindred, and finishes off his blunt, flicks it into the road, and just kind of stands to the outside of the pavement on the roadside to just get out of Kadir's way.
So you want to be out of his... You want to hope he doesn't see you.
He's not going to try and hide. He's just going to be
Okay.
out of the way.
As you very obviously kind of step off the sidewalk, and you don't make a show of it, of course. Sean's not like, cartoonishly running out to the side. But he is, like you said, nonchalantly kind of take that last big drag, flick it as you blow out the smoke, and take a look around and just try to move out of his way. I'm going to make a roll real quick. As he walks by you, you realize that your eyes do indeed meet as his eyes flick over to you, and they lock. He continues to walk. He doesn't stop. And his eyes follow you until he walks by you, and then they snap away, and he continues to stride past. As you look up from that uncomfortable gaze, you realize Mr. Larson is still standing in the doorway, watching him leave. Wits awareness. Or wits insight. My apologies. Wits insight.
Oh, that is marginally more in Sean's ballpark. 2 successes.
You can't tell exactly, but Mr. Larson certainly seems uncomfortable at the very least, the way he's postured in his doorway and the way that he seems to not break eye contact with the leaving sheriff. Very unaware that you're even there, as far as you can tell.
Sean's going to, once he's hearing Kadir's footsteps like disappear into the distance, he's going to pick up his pace and head towards Larson pretty directly.
As his footsteps begin to disappear and you no longer hear them and you make your way on the sidewalk, eventually, as the door is getting ready, he breaks his sight and he's going ready to shut the door. He does actually break his gaze and catch eyes of you, and just as the door is about to shut, it stops for a minute and you see a very visible, exacerbated sigh. Frustration, maybe, as he leaves the door open at that crack and clearly waits for you.
Yeah, it's me. I step up the stairs and go to the door.
As you make your way up the stairs and it's clearly you're going to see him and you're not just passing by, he actually steps out of the door and shuts the door behind him, as well as the screen door that sits out front. It kind of shudders with a clatter as the aluminum metal struggles to click shut. But you have his full attention as you walk up the stairs. Kid, yeah, well, early night, how can I help?
You seem a bit rattled. You right, mate?
It's been a busy night already, and the night is young.
Yeah,
so,
well.
Spit out. He kind of cuts himself off. Can you just spit it out? What do you need?
Oh, sorry. No, it's Drac Pack wants to have a chat.
He raises an eyebrow. I thought everything was taken care of.
Yeah, seems like we've done more investigations or whatever, and they want to fill you in.
So you came to me with improper and incomplete investigation and continued to investigate after presenting me with what little information you found? That seems rather, unprofessional.
Yeah, I wouldn't take it too personally. No one fucking trusts anyone, so I don't know.
Oh, no. And he kind of actually gives, like, he loosens up. It's not personal. It's just, why would I want to work with you again? And he gives a grin.
Because we're really nice.
He shakes his head. Well, either way. His kind of jovial demeanor kind of goes back to a more tense, frustrated manner. All right, well, you didn't finish the fucking job and you have more info for me. Why do I need to do... Look, I got a busy fucking night. If you need me tonight, I can... He pulls his long sleeve up and looks at his watch, not digital, a nice Rolex, actually, before he slides it back up. I can be there in a couple hours and I can give you a little bit of time, but...
Sure.
I can't promise you too long.
It's probably won't need much.
And don't give me a reason to have to hand you over to Panhard, Sean.
There ain't no reason. I'm here out of the kindness of my heart.
Most people who want to close on a deal, they come with every bit of information that they have, not a half-assed attempt and then come back later if they find more. It's bad business, Sean. I thought Vera was better than that. And he kind of claps you on the shoulder. Go. I'll be there later. And he gives you a gentle kind of shove.
Whew. All right, then.
And as he goes down, you hear the door open and you hear the laughter of a child on the inside. And you hear him say, yeah, Daddy's coming. The door shuts behind. Sean, where do you just immediately start heading back to the club?
Well, seeing as I don't have any other way of getting in contact with them, he gets out his phone.
You call the club?
Sends a message to his mates.
Okay.
Like,
okay, what does it say?
I've got reason to celebrate. We should hang out. You free later this evening?
It takes a few minutes before your phone vibrates again with an answer, and it's just a picture message. You flip it open, and it's your buddy wearing your fantastic Armani suit, but there's clearly some sort of alcohol stain that's on the left-hand side, and he's just taking a picture of the mirror of himself with it just kind of on, but again, like last time, absolutely pantsless. And it simply says, ready when you are.
Okay. Well,
a follow-up text message. Should I call the others?
Sure. We'll make
okay, so the other two will join you for this evening. You have one that typically lives in there, that really doesn't ever come out, and the other two who are there very regularly, but don't necessarily like live there.
Yeah.
One more or less illegally lives there. Fear is none too plus.
Perfect.
But it happens.
Yeah, I think I then phone up the
okay.
The
you get an answer immediately. Succubus Club.
Hey, Sean.
And then you just hear a click and then some very pleasant waiting music. Down the stairs where Vera and Duke are, having just finished their conversation, you hear footsteps hurry down the stairs. Sounds like high heels. As you turn the corner, the hostess, who's at the front of the club, after they get past the bouncer who offers some drinks and welcomes them, actually in a very, very tight-fitting emerald green dress that goes just to her knees, looks around and as maybe catches Vera's eyes. Miss Vera, you have a phone call.
Is it Sean?
Yes, actually. And she smiles.
I'll take it in the back room.
She simply nods and smiles and then heads back upstairs. Do you make your way to the back room, leaving Duke?
I guess so. I imagine there's some.
Yeah, you can, wherever you end up going, there's probably like you said, downstairs, you have like kind of your own personal area that you go to, and there's a little phone that has a light blinking on it. But it is a rotary phone. It's like a fancy one with a red light in the center.
Yeah, it's like a proper landline, and yes.
All right, I have delivered the message. Larson's going to be there in a couple of hours. Not a happy bunny, that one. He's looking kind of stressed. Sheriff was there.
Kadir went to see Larson.
Apparently.
All right, well, that is important information. I guess you can go piddle off now.
Yeah,
You're also welcome to come back and meet with Larson.
He seemed kind of grumpy that we didn't deal proper.
He's also hiding information. It doesn't help to keep information from a private investigator when they are trying to solve your problem.
Okay, well, you can tell him that,
I
because
will.
he's already pissed off at me. I'll catch you later.
And then the
Have
phone
fun,
just kinda
Sean.
hangs up. Clatters the rotary phone back on its hinge. The two of you make your go your separate ways as Sean will eventually make his way back to the club. However, the camera hard shifts, the city blurs, and we find ourselves in a darker area. A flickering light illuminating a bunch of cars parked and a bunch of empty parking spots between each one. We can hear the busy road outside and a distant siren screaming. And instead of falling our gaze upon any particular humanoid-looking person, instead we find our bat-like companion Max, somewhere in the shadows, having recently crawled out of a nearby manhole. We are, in fact, near the hospital, near where you send your beeper message to your contact here, a ghoul by the name of Sam. He got your message a little while ago and said he'd be there. He's always shows up and is almost always on time. And this particular night, as you peer around the corner, you can see the shadow of a human silhouette near the area where you typically meet.
Okay, I'll probably have maintained Cloak of Shadows. And once he's there and I've determined that we are alone, Max will do his typical reappearing thing somewhere probably behind him.
Sam is almost always forced to wait. He knows this. And as you verify that Sam is indeed waiting, it's still 15, 20, 30 minutes of you slowly covering the area, ensuring nobody else is around and nobody has followed him, or you for that matter. And once, like you said, everything is all clear, you kind of ripple into existence nearby. And Sam, still not used to it, as he catches a glimpse of you, jumps. God, that shit scares me, man.
Hey, Sam, what's the rumpus?
What do you need? I've got a few, and he actually reaches in and he pulls out 2 blood bags.
Yeah, we're still a little light, ain't we?
Yeah, we're still a little light. Sorry about that. I'm not trying.
All right. Save the sob story. For right now, here.
Max reaches into his trench coat and pulls forth a very, very beaten up copy of Whiz Comics #2.
As promised.
His eyes widen and brighten immediately, and he hurriedly shoves the 2 blood bags into the palm of your other hand, where normally he's very nervous in the way he approaches you. There's a fire that lit and a passion inside of him where he's eager to trade.
Yeah, now be careful with that. I know it's in crappy condition. It's probably not worth much, but it's got sentimental value.
He very gingerly plucks it from your hands with his index and thumb from both, and very gently begins to flip through what pages he can. Again, you can see him just consuming it with his eyes.
Yeah, I had that particular issue with me in the trenches. And now you probably think this guy's called Shazam, but his name is Captain Marvel. He says Shazam to turn into Captain Marvel.
Wow. There's not like a lawsuit for that? And he looks up to you.
Yeah, it's a long story. Anyway, enjoy.
I'm seriously, thank you. I never took you for one who would enjoy this kind of thing. And he just continues to flip through.
Back in the day, those things, everybody used to read them, not just kids. I mean, it got me through some tough times overseas. Yeah. But look, enough about me. Let's talk about you.
It's at that point the fire fades. The thrill of it kind of goes, and he gently closes the book, and that tenacious nervousness is resumed as his eyes go from the comic book to your face.
Now, I think I've been a pretty patient guy about all this, Sam. Right? You'd agree with that, yeah? Yeah,
of course. Like I said, I'm really sorry that it's just been so light, and you've been nothing but really kind, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's just that I don't want you to start thinking I'm some kind of soft touch.
No.
Because that's how misunderstandings start.
I am not.
We don't want any misunderstandings.
No, God, I'm just a simple man. I try to bring, like life to the streets of New York. I save lives. I don't want to hurt anybody. More especially you.
You're doing a real civic duty there, Sam. But you got other responsibilities too. You got to remember that. How long you been with me now? What, 5 years?
Oh, wow, it's been that long? God, time flies.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't know it by looking at you. I mean, you haven't aged a day, have you?
Oh, my girlfriend loves it.
Yeah, I'm sure she does. But that little gift I gave you comes with responsibilities that have to be fulfilled, Sam. I had another guy here at the hospital for about 5 years before I met you. He didn't work out.
What happened to him?
He didn't work out, Sam. And it wasn't anything personal. I liked the guy. I like you. But we gotta understand what the ground rules are, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Wits insight, Mr. Maxwell. With one success, well, you don't know for sure. He's definitely acting way more nervous, at least, than normal. Even when you've threatened him in the past, he almost always immediately cows to you. But here, he's standing. He's a little standoff.
Hey, he'll know when I threaten him.
Fair enough.
That was a very friendly reminder of his responsibilities.
Put it this way, Sam is a very nervous man. And even things that Max might not even intend as quote-unquote a threat, he kind of reacts to. For whatever the reason, though, he's definitely a little bit more standoffish tonight than he normally is.
If you don't mind me saying so there, Sam, you seem a little squirrely.
Oh, it's just been it's been like a long 3 nights. I've had maybe like 4 hours total of sleep, you know?
Well, you need your rest, right?
I gotta, but the streets in New York don't sleep, you know? City never sleeps kind of thing.
Yeah, well, maybe you need to look at finding a little balance in your life, you know? Because like I say, you've got other responsibilities that need to be fulfilled, and you gotta take care of yourself so you can fulfill them.
Yeah, I mean, Max, yeah, you're right. Next time you see me, I'll have your regular stash.
Okay, all right. So why don't you tell me what's bugging you?
Nothing's bugging me.
You sure about that?
100%.
100%? Well, that's a lot of percentages. Okay. One more thing. You, got one of them, computers that gets on the internet whatnot, right?
Yeah, yes, I have a computer, yes.
Okay, good. You got one of them, accounts at, what do they call it, eBay?
The what?
eBay.
Oh, yeah, I think I bought something on eBay once. Yeah.
Okay, I'm, gonna need you to find something for me.
He immediately takes out his, smartphone and he punches a couple things in an app. He's like, yeah, what do you need?
Okay. Back in the early 70s, there was this Hanna-Barbera cartoon called the Drac Pack.
He looks confused and then kind of begins typing in. You hear the telltale sound of like pop, pop as he's plugging.
It's kind of obscure, but it has its fans. All right. What I need you to do for me is get a hold of a vintage t-shirt that says Drac Pack on it.
All right. Is that it?
Yeah, I want a t-shirt.
Hang on a second.
It's a gift. It's a gift for a friend, all right?
Yeah, and he simply says, hang on a second. And he actually just immediately begins to pluck away into his phone. He's like, yeah, okay, these are cheap. That's fine.
Okay, how much is it going to be?
Oh, this one right here? Oh, this one's in good condition. It's like $40.
40. Okay, let's call it 50. Buy yourself something nice.
Yeah, sure. And he just keeps plugging away. He's like, yeah, is that it?
Yeah, no, that's fine. I just want to show.
May I ask you a question, Max?
Yeah, what?
Why can't you do that?
Because I don't got a computer, because it would be a bad thing for me to have one, because it's against the rules.
Didn't know there were rules.
Yeah, well, there are.
You know, I don't want to know anymore.
All right. Just, get some sleep, okay?
Yeah.
Let me know when that shirt comes in.
Yeah. He kind of shakes his head. I'll send you a beep. Is that what you used to call them? Like a beep?
I don't know. I these things are relatively new to me. Every time I turn around, there's something new.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, yeah, I'll reach out. Thanks. I think Max just. Thank you for understanding.
Yeah, just remember there's limits to understanding, right?
Right.
Yeah, I want that to be your takeaway from tonight.
Yeah. I wouldn't. Whoever your last person was, I promise I cherish this more. I can save more people because of you. So, thank you.
Okay, yeah. Enjoy the comic, huh?
As Max kind of just nonchalant, like, all right, enough of you, and gives him the wave. Do we see him ripple into nothing again?
Yeah, he's probably going to obfuscate to get out of there.
And as he disappears again, you hear Sam in the background. That's wild, man. And he begins to walk away. Because your highest is potence, correct?
Actually, my highest is my very highest.
Oh, your
is
very
obfuscate.
highest is obfuscate. Okay. So actually, he would either be able to. He'd probably be able to walk silently. He is your ghoul, after all.
Mm-hmm.
So, from there on, would Max just begin to head back to the club? Then everything taken care of.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
That was his errand for the day.
Sure, a little something going on with Sam, but can't quite pin it down yet. But after a little bit of walk, we'll say everybody reconvenes again. Now back down to the blood room, and you have about 30 minutes before Larson is supposed to arrive. We'll say Sean is the last one to arrive, as the hospital's just a skip away from the club. If there's any conversation the three of you would like to have without Sean present, you may do so now. However, you may wait until Sean arrives, of course.
I think Duke would probably remain quiet unless prompted.
Max is going to have a word with Vera.
Okay, Vera, so what's the play here?
As much as I hate to say it, we may have to come clean.
Are we talking clean, like tell him everything, show him the symbols that we found at the murder site?
I think we should tell him that we have looked deeper into the ritual, but we are lacking information. There are puzzle pieces that we don't have, and I believe that he can give them to us.
So do we show him the actual symbols or no?
Might as well, I guess. He's going to get all flustered about it, and I'll take the blame.
Okay, fair enough. Well, Duke's got a copy of them.
It's available.
Anything in particular you want me to be doing?
I don't think he'll understand our position in all of this, but it will be worth a shot. I doubt he'll want to be outed in front of the entirety of the Elysium.
Okay, you're the boss.
I'm still waiting to hear back from Johann regarding the symbols and what exactly the incantation or ritual may be. I have nothing yet to report, unfortunately.
So, do we keep that close to the vest until we know what they are?
He did say it would take him a while, and he's kind of a fledgling when it comes to this stuff. He's a newer Tremere, and it's only been about 5 or 6 nights.
Couple nights, yeah. Okay, I think we can simply say we are looking into it. Further, we need to let him think that we have it under control, which we do. And if Elysium is not the best way to handle it, I guess we should just be honest. I want this off of our plate. And the longer we keep digging, the more it becomes our problem and no longer Larson's. But I believe he has information that's going to enlighten all of us on what's really going on here.
Vera, there is a possibility as well that Larson is trying to keep this under wraps and away from the prince because this may indicate him involved additionally, but because our hands will be tainted and dirty with this personal investigation, that it might align the prince to think that we are the original perpetrators, if you will.
It's a possibility. And if Larson wants to keep this out of the prince's purview, then we can assure that as well, as long as he's coming clean. I'm not going to half-ass work for Thin-Blood and then turn around and half-ass it on the prince as well. I'm going to give one of them my all.
And if it trails off then into silence there and everybody just waits, eventually, you do not get an announcement like you did last time, or anybody waiting upstairs. Instead, you simply hear footsteps as the door opens and the music floods into the basement before the door shuts and it becomes thumping again. You just hear steps making their way down the concrete stairs. Anybody who peers out would recognize in a brown coat, a white t-shirt, and jeans and sneakers with a scruffed face and hair, Mr. Larson.
I'll make sure that we go to like a sitting room proper, not the blood room.
Do you want to take him back all the way upstairs where you took last time? That nice area with the beautiful couch and privacy?
Yeah, like a nice whatever conference room. And yeah, just our private place, not on the dance floor.
Sure. And so you make your way upstairs past the music and the dance, and all 5 of you back into the room where you had the meeting with him for the first time. But this time, Mr. Larson does not sit down. He stands behind the chair, his hands on the back of it, and he seems to lean on it. Any of you sit?
Sure.
Sean sits.
Duke will sit as well.
Okay.
Max is leaning against the back wall and just says,
Go on, Larson, take a load off.
I'm good. Thanks. As the last one files in and the door shuts, he kind of takes a deep breath. So, Sean made a visit to my home tonight, and let me know that the 4 of you, well, I guess I just don't have the patience to be nice tonight. Half-assed it. You didn't finish your investigation, and now you have more that you want to tell me. Isn't that right? And he looks over to Sean.
I think you took it a bit far. We just have new knowledge now.
Yeah.
We'll be sharing.
Yeah, that's right. There've been further developments in the case, like they say, right?
Then humor me. What are these amazing further developments that you've discovered?
Before I can tell you about our further developments, I'd like to be candid with you, Larson.
Please.
You asked us to investigate a situation.
I did.
We did. We also cleaned it up. In doing so, we found probably more than we bargained for. It was out of our purview, understanding, and we have dived in deeper. But in doing so, my gut tells me that there is something you're not telling us. I'm not working against you, Larson. It's the reason I brought you back. Because instead of announcing this finding at Elysium to the Prince, which I don't think is what you want, I decided we could deal with it like good, clean kindred. So tell me what you're not telling us.
He raises his eyebrow and stands up rather straight. Your reputation behind the Drac Pack just falls out of your mouth, huh? Listen. If what you were telling me was true, then there's nothing more you need to know. The body of the Princess Ghoul was found. Nice, neat little bow. Seems like a random hit job, perhaps a kindred, perhaps a kind, perhaps a job for somebody else, but nothing more. And it's out of my purview and out of my business. You take that reward, you hand it up with the prince. You take whatever it is she gives you.
I don't need the prince's reward. What I want is to know why the Princess Ghoul was taking photos of Sean. Why there was a blood ritual.
He stops. When you bring up the watching of Sean and then a blood ritual, you watch as his facial expression change from frustrated to wits insight.
So just wits then.
For Maxwell,
just one.
Max is not insightful.
1 success for Vera. 1 success for Duke. 2 successes for Sean. And 2 successes for Max.
Nice.
You all watch. It's not hard to tell. His expression very drastically changes from frustrated to what you might, it's subtle, you might prescribe as fear.
Yeah, so you see what we meant by new developments, yeah?
So what you're telling me is that you went to this crime scene and it wasn't there before, but now suddenly there's blood ritual evidence?
We're smart. We figured it out later.
Yeah, we thought it might just be some kind of, crazy person and whatnot. I don't know nothing about blood rituals, about magic. I know about putting my fist through people's faces and out the back of their head.
Like I said, it was out of our purview. When we reported to you, we thought it was nothing. Then
You have evidence of such things, or is
we
just
have
you-
recorded the symbols.
He actually just juts his hand forward.
You haven't answered
like a gimme.
my question, Larson.
I can't answer anything until I know what I'm looking at first. It could be just a rogue Tremere. It could be any gestures to Sean, one of our own, pulling tricks. God forbid it's a fucking orphan Thin-Blood fucking murdering people on the streets of New York. My head'll be on a fucking platter if I can't stop them from
Mr.
doing
Larson,
that.
you have much experience with blood magic then. Is that what you might be suggesting?
He actually furrows about and shakes his head. No, but Thin-Bloods, we have the ability to dabble in all sorts of disciplines that we don't. And he just gestures to Sean. Have you not? Sean.
I told them a little bit. It didn't look like anything I've ever done.
Yeah, we just figured you might have a little more on the ball, magic-wise, than our friend here.
Can I just see the symbols, please?
Show him, Duke.
I'll produce the paper.
He snatches it from your hand unceremoniously as it crumples in his, and he brings it back and kind of pulls it out. And you watch as he looks at it for a minute. Registration on his head as he tilts his head and kind of follows the halo-like arc before his eyes widen. And without any need for a wit's insight, you realize there's a mark of recognition on his face as he then kind of hands the paper back. Fuck.
Yeah, you ever seen something like that before?
Yeah. He strolls to the front of the chair and he plops into it. And then he makes a gesture for everybody who's still standing to sit. He leans forward, puts his elbows on his knees, and puts his hand in his head in his hands. His head in his hands, rather. He takes a couple deep breaths before he starts sitting up. All right. Be real. How long have you known? How long? Night one?
Known what?
Had this, and he just points aggressively at the piece of paper.
Yes, since the crime scene, though we were unsure it was a blood ritual until
Yeah.
probably the
blood
night
ritual.
after.
And he just kind of slams the table.
Would you please enlighten us, Larson? Tell us
Because
what
I
it
don't
does.
know what it does.
Mr. Larson, I believe that you have an idea at the very least.
All right. He looks to Vera. How about we extend that working business partnership then? I give you more information, and you keep looking into it, and we keep it between us. Because if it gets out that the ghoul of the prince was found in your territory, and you held information, whether it dooms me or not, that could still look incredibly bad on the four of you, and likely, and he kind of looks to Sean, and he just kind of gives a, as punishment.
Yes, well, that's always a possibility, isn't it?
So instead, how about we keep working together, and we keep the details into ourselves until we figure this whole thing out.
As long as you come clean and tell me the entire truth.
The best of my ability.
It looked to me like you were considering some horrible possibilities there. Maybe you could enlighten us as to what conjectures you were lighting upon, huh?
It would explain. Fuck. And he just stands up and he just begins to swear and shout. He loses his composure for a while and he just paces the room. For a while, you just lose him. Even trying to talk to him, you ain't able to get through as he just swears up a storm. And you're not entirely sure if he is losing it to the beast, if he's frenzying, if this is something even Thin-Bloods can necessarily even do, or if he's just angry. But for a while, he turns and he begins to just kind of throw a tantrum before he spins on his heels, points to the paper, and he says, "I think that's my fault."
What do you mean, your fault?
Indirectly, not me directly. I didn't kill anybody. I didn't mean it like that.
Mr. Larson, we have killed a lot of people. Look at us. And I gesture to all of us. You know this. We're not going to judge you for killing someone.
I didn't kill anyone.
Sean.
In fact, I refuse. I have not killed anybody, and I will remain as such.
Okay. So, you indirectly caused this? Maybe a little less cryptic would be helpful.
After he paces a few more times, he sits back in the chair, leans forward. In the 80s, before any of this, before I open my mouth, I need your word. All four of you. I need your word that we are moving forward with a business deal. And this stays between us for your safety and mine.
I'll keep it close to my chest. I won't tell anyone. I'll only discuss it with these people here. I want to know that what I owe you, we're square, you know?
He looks to you and he just kind of gives you a nod. Yeah. If you do this, we're square.
Then I'm in. I'm in.
Yeah, okay. I'll keep it secret, I'll keep it safe, blah, blah.
Vera. He actually just kind of looks to you. Listen.
You've put my coterie at great risk, Larson. You brought this to our door under the guise of being kind.
You want honesty?
And it wasn't. It was selfish.
If this is shit that I think it is, Sean was already in trouble.
Whoa, what?
Well, that changes things now, doesn't it?
Yeah. A whole lot.
For the safety of my coterie, I will agree to keep your secret.
He just looks to Duke.
I'm currently entertaining the idea.
There's no entertaining.
Come on, Duke. Cross your heart and hope to die, stick a needle, whatnot. Let's go.
Sure, Larson. Sure.
I'll take that as agreement. In the 80s, things were different in New York. There was this Tremere girl. Back then. I thought she was a fledgling. I don't know if it's true anymore. Doesn't really matter. Her and I, kind of came onto the New York scene at the same time. Didn't really have a lot of people to lean on. Ended up leaning on each other. She didn't particularly care that I was what I am. Then he looks to Sean. And I was just happy to have somebody on the inside, I guess. Being a friend. Long story short is, we had a relationship for a while. And after some years passed, she got a little ambitious. Did some things that got her into trouble. And it kind of came known that I was with her. And it was my job once everything kind of... And when what she had done had come forward, they had tasked me with killing her. And I would earn a seat. And my kind, the grace of Prince Panhard, would be welcome in the Camarilla. But how do you kill somebody that you love? How do you look into their eyes and take their life from them because they tried to help you? Yeah, you're right. Okay. And he looks over to Max and Vera and Duke. Yeah, I know a little bit of blood sorcery. Thanks to her. And I thought we had an agreement. she would leave. And everybody else would presume her dead.
But she is not any of those things, is she?
If this is what I think it is, no, I don't think so, because that means she's back. And maybe... No, I didn't kill her. If that's what you're asking. No.
So you let her walk,
Yeah.
and now it looks like she's walked back.
Yeah. Yeah, that might be it. If this is her.
Why can't you just, like... You can just go and talk to her if you're in love with her.
No, you can't.
At least it's a bit more humane.
Sean,
than
shut
fucking...
the fuck up. And he grabs a piece of paper and he places it. These symbols are not a knowable ritual. It's not something that is in the books, at least not as far as I know. The Tremere would tell you, but who fucking knows? They keep their secrets locked up tighter than the fucking Nazi gold in Sweden. Whatever. She was working on something in our years together. She was working on a way to make me full.
Yeah. I can see why you swore us to secrecy. This does not look good for you, does it?
No. Maxwell. To be quite fucking blunt, no, it doesn't. More importantly, it doesn't look good for my family. Because if I get caught and I get killed, do you think they're going to let my family get away?
I do not think that, no.
So do you see my fucking problem?
Mr. Larson, gather yourself, calm down. I appreciate your honesty. And it seems that your problem is our problem.
Why do you think she's following Sean? Or, interested in Sean?
She's following Sean.
Well, if the prince is watching you, that's not new. Okay? Welcome to being a thin blood in New York. The price to fucking pay.
Great.
I don't know if that's particularly attached to her, but because she's looking out for Sean.
She has interest in Sean.
Your fucking girlfriend?
Maybe. If she knows that I took care of you. Maybe.
Sean, forgive me for breaking the air here, but you stumbled to us a night or so back asking about the importance of a kiss. A woman.
No.
I thought we said everything we were
Larson.
gonna... Honesty, right?
Yo, that's not related though.
No, I think it might
What?
be.
That's different.
Would you start by describing this Tremere?
The
What
last
does she
time
look like? We must know to be able to track her.
Cat headphones. She was about 5'4". She hair down to here. Really cute. And stitched up lips.
What?
Yeah. It was this.
You did not mention that part, Sean.
Yeah, must have made
Yeah, because it was
because
must have made the kissing kind of difficult.
It was uncomfortable. It was soft.
Yeah, that's... Fuck.
Okay, Larson. This Tremere, she wouldn't necessarily hold a grudge against you. I mean, you're the one who let her live.
No, I mean, God, it's been decades. I don't know. When I last saw her, no. It was a mutual understanding, an understanding that she knew so she could see another night, that she could continue to live.
Yo, before you go off on one, I'm not two-timing with her. You said you love her. That's
Love.
Hey, Sean,
I think, kind of important.
I think there's bigger concerns here, all right? I don't think...
Yeah, okay.
Oh, boy.
Well, let's talk about this. Shit. No, So, you know when I said I found her...
So she's interested in you then. Great.
No, what? No, there's like... I'll show you the building. I'll show you the place. There was this weird circle...
Sean, you're officially quarantined to the club. You cannot leave if she is stalking you.
Fuck that. I'm going to go to where she was. It was real close to the murder. And that seems important now I mention it.
What's the circle, Sean? Continue.
The symbols, he cuts you off. The symbols over the head, the telling you side. Then, Sean, she's the one that killed her. She's the one that killed the ghoul. It's pretty obvious.
Yeah, I get that now.
Okay, now, here's what I can't quite figure out. If you're still on her good side, in fact, if she owes you for sparing her life, she's gotta know that whatever she's doing now is gonna cause major trouble for you.
I would hope that she understood that. And yet, we find ourselves, and he kind of just gestures to the wide room.
Mr. Larson, did this woman, this Thin-Blood,
Mia,
or Meer, or whatever she happens to be...
Call her Mia.
Mia. She was supposed to have died, yes?
Yes, by law.
Was she in love with you as well?
As far as I'm aware.
Well, this is very simple. There's a lot less of a coincidence here if you just simply think about it. She feels spurned. Mr. Larson, you got to live a very normal life. You had a family, and from the sounds of it, children, and she was cast out.
No, that doesn't make any sense because I had a...
You left her behind.
I had a family when I was with her.
Oh, mate.
Well, I was married. The kid wasn't around yet.
Why the interest in Sean? A replacement? Does she no longer think you're suited?
I don't know.
Well, Max, you come with me. I show you where she is. You tear her head off. Job done, right?
I mean, you know where she's been staying?
I know where I found her.
You know where you bumped into her. That doesn't mean that's where she's hanging her hat.
No, we went to an apartment.
Oh, so was there more than a kiss involved?
You shut up. You wouldn't know. There's this apartment. She ran away. So I don't know if she's there, but maybe she had the time to draw a fucking teleportation circle.
What? Wait, this is news.
It's not important now.
Yes, Sean, it is.
I'd say it's, what do you call it, pertinent.
Mr. Larson, why would the prince and their ghoul be interested in this Mia figure? More importantly, why would the prince's ghoul specifically be working with Mia?
No, I don't think you understand. The ghoul wasn't working with Mia. The ghoul was working with the prince. Mia killed the ghoul. I mean, unless she's working with the prince, but where the ghoul is working with her, but that doesn't...
I mean, maybe we're overthinking this. This might just be straight up revenge. I mean, who ordered her death in the first place? The prince. Who did she kill? The prince's ghoul. Maybe she's working her way up to something bigger.
Yeah, well, whatever we do, we cannot tell the prince.
No.
Because that might lead her.
Yeah.
To this woman, then that'll get me killed, and I'm very fond of me.
Yeah, the prince thinks this is still a cold case. I haven't told her that we have any more information or anything. She doesn't know. And...
This is not about the prince. This is about love.
I have to
not
agree.
Anymore. Not for me, it's not.
Well,
It doesn't mean it's not reciprocated, Mr. Larson.
She wants to be with you, yes? So would she not go out of her way to assure that you were either spurned as she was, cast aside, forgotten, claimed dead, so that you can be together. Or else she'll work to put you in a position where it doesn't matter that you didn't kill her, and that you can bring her back. She just wants to be with you, Larson.
It may seem that she may go through any means necessary. As per my immediate recommendation, I would move your
There's nothing stopping her from
family.
knocking on my front door, like Sean did, like Kadir did.
Why did Kadir knock on your front door?
As I said, I have a busy night tonight. Lots of business.
Sure. Well,
Primogen.
These two things aren't going to clash, are they?
let's align all of our coincidences then, Mr. Larson.
Yeah, what was this business that Kadir wanted?
Primogen Council. I have a meeting tonight if you must know.
Okay.
It wasn't scheduled. Somebody had to come get me. I mean, Sean, you can take that as you will. You saw his face and saw the way his posture and whatnot changed, but whether you want to bring that up in public or not is entirely up to you.
Well, that must be important business then, Larson.
Well,
Yeah,
To be
whatever it
summoned.
is, bad though, isn't it?
he just looks back at it, looks at his watch before putting it down. Yeah, speaking of, time's running low, so I'm expecting,
Well-
Okay.
and I should be early,
Your honesty has been helpful.
as has yours. And he looks over to Sean, even if it was like pulling teeth.
I connect the dots late sometimes, so fucking...
If I may, and he actually looks over to Vera. Not that you would like to take advice from a Thin-Blood Primogen, but if I'm sitting here and he's saying information that's still surprising the three of you, that's dangerous.
Yeah, my thoughts.
Fuck off.
My thoughts exactly there, kid.
Well, good news is it's a family matter, Larson, and you have business to attend to. We'll speak with Sean.
He nods and stands up, dusting himself and straightening his shirt before he turns. I appreciate the call. Looks to Sean. Tonight was very necessary.
Yeah, well, Sean stands up, goes up to him, puts his hand on his shoulder, turns on awe, and just says,
Everybody has to make a roll. Everybody needs to resist awe. What's the
How do you
what's
resist
the
awe?
opposed roll for awe again?
oh god, good question. That is, give me a sec.
Everybody make a composure intelligence roll. Vera, Duke.
And two, Max at the top.
Oh, Max is at the top. Okay. So actually, the only one to resist is Duke, which kind of makes sense. Everybody else, it's not like an overwhelming thing, but when awe comes on in the room, almost your eyes just can't take you can't take your eyes off of Sean. Every word he says isn't like a sweet honey, but it's caked in a little sweetness, a little bit more charisma than normal. The way he speaks, the way he carries himself. He's almost the center of attention for a few minutes here as you turn awe on and clap his back as he turns to you. And you actually see he looks to be paying great attention to you in the moment.
Yeah, he
Duke, you
clap
feel it
him on the
hit
back.
and you're like, no.
Look, we're going to work this out, but for the moment, don't break a sweat when there are a bunch of Primogens staring at you. You can do this, and if you do it right, we'll end up on top.
Would you like
Yeah?
to make a charisma persuasion check, sir? With your awe bonus?
Ooh,
With the social roll?
Very much so.
What is it, 1 dot in presence, so 1d10 extra?
Yeah, it's only 1 dot.
Yep.
it's
Hey, it's a little something.
a thin blood.
And with the one success that you've rolled, unless you like to willpower.
No, I'm going to reroll
Okay,
that.
yeah, throw
I'm going to reroll that.
willpower, reroll 3. 2 successes.
2.
With 2 successes, you say that he actually places his other hand on your opposing shoulder. He's like, and I sincerely appreciate you just in our confidential partnership. And he gives you a smile.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he just claps your shoulder, as I'm assuming you do to him, and he leaves, leaving the 4 of you in this lavish room filled with soft furniture, flickering candles, gentle music. Alone.
Well,
What the fuck are we gonna do?
if you don't mind me saying, this is something of a shit sandwich.
Have a seat, Sean.
Oh, no. No, I am not the bad guy here.
Sit down, Sean. Please.
Okay. I drag a chair noisily out and then plop my butt down.
As Max has so clearly pointed out, we are faced with a shit sandwich.
I'm
This
gonna
is
fix
bad
it.
for us. I said us. But you seem to be the center of attention of this Tremere girl.
And then use me as bait.
I am
She
going
wants
to
to
use you
come-
as bait, yes, but first I need you to complete something else. We need the Italians off our asses. I want you to stay inside for a few days. Lie low.
Ooh.
It's
I
not
can
out of
lie
your
low.
capability. Have your friends or whatever come here, but we need to keep you under watch for a few days. Whatever is going on with the Primogen Council does not bode well, and if it has anything to do with this, we could be in even more of a shit sandwich.
Things are easier if I go outside. And then I can deal with your Italian. And if she is looking out for me, then someone's tries to shoot me, she'll jump in front of it or whatever, right?
Fine. Max goes with you.
Just me and my shadow.
You've got to keep you safe, Sean. No more teleporting into young girls' bedrooms.
It's less creepy than that, Kay?
Says the thin blood who kissed stitched lips.
I appreciate certain aesthetics, okay?
Oh, brother.
Duke, what do you make of all of this? This doesn't bode well for us. And let's be
Bodes
honest. If
well
we...
for no one.
Yes, but how do we clean it up?
Well, we have to find her. We have to find more examples of her work. It seems to have evolved. I think everyone that was on scene was able to determine that the runic markings on the wall were deliberate and practiced. This was not her first, and I do not think it will be her last. She's not acquired her true goal. If that is Larson, I would be entirely surprised. Why would she approach Sean just for that?
Yeah, I think Duke's right. I think she's moved on from her old flame. It looks like she's got a new boyfriend now, huh?
Oh, Sean. There's that charm I was talking about. You do like to kiss girls.
Everyone
You made that
says
very
that
clear.
kindred life is a curse. Sean, it seems that you are cursed with dashing good looks. Aren't you so lucky?
Yeah, I know the feeling. I can commiserate there, Sean.
Yeah, I feel so fucking blessed.
All right, how much time we got left in the evening here?
Check my list.
The night is only 3 hours or 4 hours in. You've got a majority of your night still.
All right, here's my proposal. I'm gonna go with Sean. Check out this place that he said he found the girl in. I doubt she's gonna be just hanging there, but we might find something.
Look, if you want me to stay low, I've got a couple of things I can prepare, and then I can go out there fully armed. Or,
That's great.
whatever.
You'll also have a Max.
Max cracks his knuckles very loudly.
There we go.
Trust me, no one will see him, and it's just for your own safety, Sean.
Surprisingly.
The last thing... Well, we're all full of surprises, you included, so... Maybe Duke and I can simmer on how to politically fix this, because if the truth gets out, we are inevitably part of the problem. And I'd like it to not be that way.
I really just want to get this sorted so we can go back to doing whatever counts for normal, you know?
All right. You said you needed to get ready. How long you need?
Give me 20 minutes. I'm going to go shit on someone's party.
Okay, sounds fun.
Sure hope not.
As the coterie fractures into their necessary little groups to prepare for a night of crime scene investigation, next week we will open with Max and Sean and their little adventure to the girl appeared. But until then, you'll have to wait just a little while longer.
Do Vera a little favor, would you? Break out that Masquerade Preach in your pocket and follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Pod by Night or Stitch of Fate. Make sure to leave us a little 5-star rating and review, would you? And if you don't, well, I guess I'll just have to send Max after you.
Special thank you to Kimberly and Sean Casey for sponsoring this podcast. Stitch of Fate wouldn't be possible without your incredible kindness and support. You sure know how to rouse our blood.